witchcraft, voodoo, juju, all of that is a real thing.
To get to the next level in career.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. She didn't sacrifice herself with witchcraft. They funnel millions of dollars to put this in your face and make you think whatever you're watching is your choice. That scares me.
It's almost getting normalized to see these women be naked in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's get you next to this woman who's dressing promiscuously, and then let's benefit from the traffic.
Everything now is clout over quality.
I did want to be the guy who had multiple women, who could have sex at will. Yeah. My goal was to be an asshole with money.
Yo, you can't do it on your own. Stop trying. Flee and pray. That's the only way.
That was your first time ever being monogamous?
Yes.
Did you have to go through all of that temptation, lust type of experience to get to where you at now?
I had to go through that to be a voice to say.
Before we jump in, let me set the tone for this one. This isn't just another celebrity telling you a story. This is Rotimi talking about what it really took to fight for purity, step into marriage, and navigate spiritual warfare while the whole world is watching. He didn't come to perform, even though he did do a little something special at the end. He came to be honest about temptation, discipline, and the kind of growth needed that doesn't just happen by accident. And honestly, we need more of these types of conversations. That's why we launched the Hardly Initiated community, and the wait list is officially open. If you're ready to grow, get around the right people, and build something real in your life, this is your moment. Click the link in the description, join the wait list, and take the first real step towards transformation. Let's get it. Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, in the building with my co-host, Ryan Ketchens.
Back in the studio, baby. Listen, it's been too many weeks. We got to get it popping now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to be back, y'all. And I told y'all, we back and better than ever. And today, we doing it with a brother. I don't know if y'all seen this brother, how we going to present the brother today. Y'all might learn a different side of this brother.
Correct. He already one of their favorites.
Already one of your favorites. He's somewhere floating around your playlist. Somewhere floating around your Amazon Prime, HBO Max. All right, because we in here rocking with one of the most incredible international artists in the world, actors in the world, a father, a husband. We got Rotimi in the building. Welcome to Hardly Initiated, my brother.
Brothers, God bless y'all, man.
Likewise, man. Glad you're in the studio with us.
It feels good, bro.
God has been blessing you, man.
Yes. For a very long time. Man. It's beautiful to see that the growth of where I'm at is I'm able to sit at these type of tables now. You know what I mean? Before, I always had knowledge of certain things, but I always was timid to do it because I personally wasn't ready. So now this validates my elevation, by sitting with you guys, man. So
wow.
I'm grateful.
Listen,
wow. That's a high compliment.
Hey, shout out to the initiate. Shout out to all the subscribers because y'all helped us even get in this situation.
That's right.
Because this morning I woke up, I'm talking to my fam, talking to my mom. I'm like, yo, you know Rotimi? Yeah. We got Rotimi. Yeah. She like, from Power? That's one of our favorite shows, by the way. This feels good, man. This feels good.
It does.
And you got some excellent energy, which I appreciate Tyshawn for getting us, connected. Yeah, because it's, not everybody that you sit down with really brings that godly energy. That hey, I'm really ready to connect and be present with what you got going on energy. So I'm
fully here.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly.
Thank you,
and for y'all that don't know, man, it's one of the most incredible albums that I've heard. It's one of those, you just kind of play it. You don't skip nothing. It rocks all the way from the top to the bottom. In my heart, in my veins. We're going to get into some of those tracks a little bit later and talk about the tour that's coming up. But first, I want the audience to get to know you a bit, because a lot of people don't know that you probably got some game that you can really put us on. Most of our initiates, I would say, they're single, young men and women, looking to get their life right, looking to get deeper in their faith, looking to find a great partner.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? They looking for all those things. That's what we want. We want love. We want marriage. We want to build families, rebuild a community. We need it.
Yeah.
All right. And it's interesting because you have an incredibly powerful wife.
Yes.
An incredibly powerful wife. And you're going to get into it in a minute. But I wanted to pose this to you because we had a conversation with a powerful brother. Shout out to Anthony Philip Mitchell. He came, Philip Anthony Mitchell. He came on a show recently. And we had some deep conversations about relationships, about dating. one in particular about ladies who, once they get deep in a relationship with Christ, what happens is the pool gets a little smaller, of brothers that they could really rock with.
Yeah.
And I remember you in particular, you was telling your story, and your wife, she's already at a certain level.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you was Rotimi.
Yeah, I was Rotimi, yes. I was the Rotimi, yes, sir.
And somehow, walk me through this, because when you meet your beautiful wife, she's in this place.
Yeah.
What did she see in you?
She saw who I am now 6 years ago. She saw the potential of what I was going to be. She saw the elements of a caring provider who's just well-rounded. And at the time, I didn't see that in myself. I wasn't even trying to see that in myself. And she fell in love with the level of what I was, but she loved the level that I was, but fell in love with who she knew I was going to be, which I am today. And so, again, women that are in the spirit have that foresight, man. They have that intuition, and the Holy Spirit just walks through them, you know, and they have the ear of God. And sometimes, and she wasn't a saint either, you know what I mean? She's another chosen one, but she had to surrender, and she surrendered before I did, you know. And so when she surrendered, she was like, there's something about this man that I'm supposed to connect with. And so funny, like, she's from Tanzania. So when we saw each other, you know, it was like we linked, and then it became a long distance relationship. And she was like, I'm overstressed, because she's also an artist. So she's like, I'm overstressed. I hate this industry. I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, yo, just come kick it for 3-4 days. You know, just come hang out with me for 3-4 days. I think you need that break. And she was like, okay. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll get your ticket. You know, she's like, no, I'll get my ticket. Don't worry about that. This is somebody flying from Tanzania.
That's a green flag.
Yeah. I said, you have money now. You have money now, you know. Okay. You know, but no, and come to find out, she at the time, she really didn't have that much. Because she's one of those Kanye West type of put all the money in as an artist and just hoping, you know, like just fully just go in. And she didn't have that much left at that particular time. Wow. So she kind of bet the bottom dollar, you know, on me, and she got here, and it was just infectious, bro. And, you know, we both grew spiritually together and to where we are now. But she knew, like 2 days in, she was just like, no, this is it. And I was still trying to figure it out. But again, that's just a man being a man in that situation of just, okay, you know. And then I had to recalibrate and say, okay, Ro, how long can you really live this way? You know. And this is before I really found God. It was just the Holy Spirit working through me, and making me think it's me, but it's really not, you know. And then we're having deeper conversations that weren't really earthly, you know. And it just became like 3 days became 2 weeks, 2 weeks became a month, you know. And so it was just different, bro. It was just different. So yeah.
That's incredible. Let me ask you this. So given the, you know, how you met your wife, and I think a lot of people say that was pretty risky on her end, because if you live in, you know, a casual sex lifestyle, kind of promiscuous lifestyle in the industry, and she's still like, hey, you know what, let's try to make something work. Yeah. Would you personally advise women to take that chance on men that are not necessarily spiritually in the same exact place? And if you would, what should those women be looking for in terms of potential in a man?
I think, again, a woman's instinct and intuition is second to none. So I can put it into words, but it's something that they just naturally would know. But a man that has self-respect for himself, a man that exhibits self-awareness, a man that still exhibits mindfulness. I was always doing those things, but I was choosing to do opposite because I wasn't ready. So I always had these characteristics of a kingdom man. Like I always did. I just chose to be a court jester. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like understanding that if a man is naturally just a kind man, if a man is naturally a provider, because sometimes in the healing we need that woman godly energy, you know, and maybe we're moving too fast. There's maybe somebody there to help remind that man of who he is and who he's supposed to be. And I can only speak for myself that, she was just like, yo, why would you take this? Why would you choose this? What made you think of this? Do you think that's a good choice? And not telling me you don't do this. It's like, take a second. And is that the best thing to do? And it started building more of like accountability. You know what I'm saying? And so, a woman will feel it. She'll know.
Right.
But a man has to have the characteristics of self-awareness, self-mindfulness, a provider, empathetic, kind. There's a lot of things that go into it, but it's levers. You know, he might have all of these, but some are higher than others. You know what I mean? And it's once we're supposed to do the work ourselves before we get there, for real, to bring somebody else in. But if a woman sees that, okay, this is at a 6, but dang, I know he's 10. It's taking that risk, you know.
I totally understand that, and this is kind of a personal question.
Yeah.
Personal for me, and now personal for you. So, you know, I'm dating a young lady.
Yeah, brother.
And things are going well. Things are going well. Now, considering where I came from, which was a promiscuous, a casual lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, at the top of last year is when I really got serious about how I'm going to operate in the dating streets.
Yeah.
And, you know, the first, you know, one of a few ladies I was dating, all of a sudden we dating, you know, pretty seriously.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I struggle with is, you know, kind of determining, is the relationship going this well because I've changed?
Yeah.
Or is the relationship going this well because this is a once in a lifetime, you know, woman? So how do you distinguish, you know, if it's so much you putting in, or is it also them? If that question makes sense.
No, I think as men, bro, we kind of dictate kind of everything. You know, we set the tone for everything, and a woman multiplies it, right? So I think the work starts with ourselves, and by you doing that, by you changing your narrative, by you changing the way you think, by you getting closer to God. I always say, like, a man can't just be with a woman forever morally. He can't. Like, the morals gonna change depending on the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, for me, I stopped trying to just do the right thing because the principle of being a man. Nah, that's finicky. Like, if I see something that's thick and blah, 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 morally, I'm like, I mean, I could kick it with it, like, but I ain't do nothing. So morally is not really, you start doing that if it's morally. I think kingdom men, bro, if you're able to say, where am I weak at? Where is my healing? Because I don't do certain things because I have a connection to God. I don't want to be away from God. I don't want the repercussions of feeling it. So it's being good to her is the secondary thing. It's not the first. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh yeah, it's my girl, I gotta know. It's like, I have to be okay with the choices I make. I have to know I got to answer to God. I got to answer to how I feel in the morning. I got to answer to by making these decisions. Am I telling God I'm not ready for these blessings? Am I not saying, yo, I'm gonna put you on a tour. I'm gonna delay your tour because I know if you get 30 cities, bro, you're gonna lose your mind. You're not ready for that. So I'm thinking of all of these things of, damn, now I'm changing generational legacy. I'm perpetuating generational curses. So it's all of these things of 15, 20 minutes of what? That I'm not even gonna enjoy after. I'm gonna be paranoid during the whole situation.
Right. Exactly.
Shoot, this is I hope she's not crazy. I hope this dang, how's she gonna be after this? You know, like, you're not even there. So for me, it's like, yo, is it really worth it? You know, and so I say all that to say the healing in you is what changes it, that makes you open to then say, dang, this is somebody that God can trust me with, that I can have a long life with. Because if you're not ready and she's his chosen, he's not going to link you with her to protect her. You have to do the work. And if she's right for you, which she is at this point, God willing, you know, then you've elevated to then say, okay, that's why this feels like this is forever. You know what I mean? And so it takes the work, bro. Like, it takes you. You can't live off of just morals alone.
I love that you said that and how you describe and broke down morals. Because when I speak to brothers, and because of Hardly Initiated, man, I get to walk up to people and instantly have some of the realest conversations ever. Instantly. And the brothers that I notice that are faithful in their marriages, Quick intermission. We didn't plan this, but in the middle of our convo with Pastor Philip, he dropped the word about the power of journaling. Must listen. Check this out.
I could take somebody right now to my journal and let them read everything I wrote down in pen, and then let them check my life right now, and they can see what God gave that man in 2009 has come to pass in my life right now. And you see the power of journaling. You see the power of how God can speak to our hearts, and we write things down, and you could go back and see. It's almost like we have all the prophecies of the Old Testament written down by men who have journaled what God has given them, and we've seen these things come to pass as God says. So journaling is powerful. Get the journal, y'all. If you're watching Hardly Initiated right now and you want to keep a record of what God is doing in your life, I got it in my hand. The journal is sexy. It feels dope. It's blue. It's gold. It's nice. And I'm a journaler. I think journaling is powerful. And so if you're a person you like to write, or you just want to get your thoughts out, cop the journal. Use the journal. Record the things that God is saying and doing in your life. Yo, cop the journal.
They're not faithful because they don't want to hurt their wives' feelings.
No, it's temporary.
It's way deeper than that.
Yeah.
They're faithful because they don't want to get right. They don't want to get in a wrong space with God. Like that's
Yes.
their principle.
Yes, bro.
That they're standing on.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with the woman.
No.
In fact, because
No.
if that's the case, if the woman changes, all of a sudden my behavior changes. If the woman's gone, my behavior changes.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
woman. Or the woman's coming into my kingdom and
Absolutely.
how I operate.
Absolutely.
And that's what you stand on.
Yeah.
So that's a very big difference. And until a man is able to really get that level, get that standard in his life.
Absolutely.
And get aligned in that way, you know, his, like you said, morals, they'll always shake.
They always shake.
And they'll be, you know, you'll be persuaded.
Yeah.
You'll be able to be persuaded and talked out of doing whatever it is you're doing.
You can justify principles. You know what I'm saying? You can justify, like, yeah, your principles are different from mine. Your principles are different. Everybody's principles are different. But then in terms of, I keep bringing this word up, kingdom, there's only one way to be. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I stopped thinking of fear of God, of like, dang, I'm scared of God. No, I was like, fear of God to me means the fear of not having him, yo.
Right.
That, like, the fear of not having him, that scares me because I felt that for so long. I'll make certain, you know, decisions that pull me away for 3-4 days, and I'm like, damn, I feel depleted, yo. Like, and then it's hard to get back into the Bible and reading it and, you know, listening to things. I hate that feeling. So like I'm like, this dog, I'm just gonna rock with you. You know what I mean? So
that's the only way.
There you have it. I want to ask this too, because we talked about this a little bit before the show.
Yeah.
I want to know how this works, man, because even when I'm thinking about you being a kingdom man in this, you know, in the entertainment industry, that seems difficult, you know. And you told me prior, you know, your wife walked away from this space. She was one of the biggest artists in her own lane, in her own right, and she walked away. What exactly was the reason she walked away?
Well, she was, okay, so being an African woman and being a successful artist in Africa is like a crazy duality, because in the African culture, women don't really, especially in East Africa, women don't really have a voice too much, right? And so when you're powerful and more powerful than certain men, it can kind of make it be like, if you don't go with anything that they say, she's this, she's that, she's that, she's da 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 da. So, and she didn't sacrifice herself with witchcraft,
right?
And for real, like
right.
You know, she's been approached to elevate to the next level.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Oh, that's a real thing, bro. That's a real, like, witchcraft, voodoo, juju, all of that is a real thing.
To get to the next level in career.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
It's a real thing. So she's been presented opportunities like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we move. This is the things that you have to do to get to this level by top execs. And she was like, I'm not with it. And then also she wasn't going to sleep her way to the top. So then it caused her, and she didn't have management really for real. So like, she's successful. She's doing all these things. And she's to the point where it's like, I'm drunk, man. I got a drink to get out my head and just find peace. And so, and that with liquor brought depression. So at that point, she was like, this is not me. I love the music, but I hate the business. And she just was like, I can't do it anymore. So that was how she kind of let it go. But yeah, witchcraft, warlocks and voodoo, juju, black magic, all of that is hyper real. That's what made me even believe more in God.
Right.
You know,
it's so crazy because you get desensitized to it,
Yeah.
because you will see like the interviews and there's people telling the stories.
but that's what they want you to do, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's the mission. Like the devil, the enemy can't really. He can't lie to you for real. He got to tell you what it is, and you choose to believe it or not. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this person drinks goat blood. Yeah, but I told you that it did, and it's not hiding it. It's just you just desensitized to it. That no, this is a real thing. You know what I mean? So that's just the ways of the devil.
Has it? You still in the industry, so has that caused any friction at all in your? How have you both been able to manage still being able to be in the entertainment industry and still standing on what you're standing on?
I just do the work, bro. You know what I mean? There's no gimmicks. I don't do things for likes. I do it because this is my purpose. You know what I mean? So like, she knows who I am, so she knows she has nothing to really worry about. So also she knows she has nothing to worry about, but then she also knows that that how the industry is like. So she knows, oh, he's gonna be working long hours. He's got to go on tour. She did all these things at a high level herself. So she's just like my vessel to help me with that,
Yeah.
So, and then she takes care of our kids. She got her own businesses, so like it's a partnership that is just very unique, and I'm grateful for it. But yeah, I mean, for me, bro, like I go to work, I'm not distracted. I love my supporters. We chose not to play the game of just, yo, what are we gonna do for clickbait? That's where it goes left. And so it's like, I know that I could slap a girl on the butt and be like, yeah, this is nice, da 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 da, and then grind on her, and then it's gonna go on Shade Room.
Right.
I know I can do that. Then whatever song I'm promoting at that time is going #1. I know my tour gonna sell out, but I'm not a gimmick. I don't believe in those things. And I gotta answer to somebody higher than that. Like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? And so. Yeah, so again, we realized with that mindset that, yo, let's build situations like this. Like, for example, focus on the tour, focus on the people that genuinely love you, focus on the ability to captivate everyone that gets your message, and stop chasing things. I surrendered to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I surrendered to that. So now, but in doing that, I realized how many artists can go on a 30-city tour.
Right.
How many artists can do that? Not a lot of artists can do that. And so when I realized, like, I say this, bro, the biggest thing between a goat and a sheep, I stopped trying to chase being a goat. A goat, if you look at a goat's ears are down, that means you don't listen. But a sheep is ready to listen, and the ears is perky, and they listen to the voice. I'd rather be a sheep, you know what I mean? I'd rather be a servant, you know what I mean? And then work that path. The goat, it ain't it, man. It ain't it. That's something else that they put in your head to think it's something else, and it ain't what it is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd rather be a shepherd, you know what I mean? And if you look, I don't know if y'all do that, but look at a picture of a goat and look at a picture of the sheep. A sheep is ready to listen at any time. So that's what I changed, and everything just started opening up.
That's dope.
Did you? Was there any opportunities you had to turn down at this point in your career? Like, because obviously she was, in the industry on another continent doing business. Is it the same here in the States that you see a lot of those same practices and same things being presented for people to rise in their career?
Well, here, back home is very straightforward. Like, this is what we do. Hey, this is what we do. Here, it's, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, because it's Africa.
It's Africa. So it's like, look,
you already exposed to this.
This is what we do.
Wow.
This is how we go about it. This is the warlock that we talk to. This is the village we go to.
Right.
So you want to do it, you do it.
Standard.
Here, yeah, yeah. Here, and that's not everybody, but like if it is,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get it.
But in terms of here, they mask it in different ways, man. Like, sex is in your face every day. Lust is in your face every day. Things that make you question your morals every day. Being a part of perpetuating gossip is every day. So like you're consumed by it. Like, so you got to choose not to do it. You know what I mean? So that's, for me, I was like, okay, this is clever. It's the industry. It's a clever way to get you to do certain things.
Right.
I got to do that it's the same thing. Oh, so this person did that to get there. I got to do that to get there. oh, I'll do that. It's the same thing.
Yo, you know what?
That's
you know what that makes me think of?
What?
When I see these award shows and these ladies pulling up, and it seems like the standard of being on these red carpets.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It seems like you got to be naked now.
Yeah,
it seems
that's like the trend. That's the current trend.
It's a trend right now. It's like the see-through clothing.
Yeah.
I gotta dress. The more it's like the scantily clad ain't even enough. You damn near got to be naked now.
Absolutely.
To be in front of the world.
Yeah. And
this is now because it's almost getting normalized to see these women be naked in front of us.
Yeah.
It really blows my mind.
Yeah.
That it's like this is what you got to do.
That's the agenda.
Is that okay? So that's
intentional.
Some group.
Yeah,
is pretty much passing these messages down to the management and the artists. And
absolutely, you got to go with it. This is what's hot. First of all, they funnel millions of dollars to put this in your face and make you think whatever you're watching is your choice. No, they put $2 million in an artist. They put $2 million in there saying, she's going to run the blog. He's going to run this. He's going to run this. He's going to run the playlist. He's going to run the music. And he's going to run TikTok. We're going to put $100,000 into TikTok. We're going to spend $200 per TikTok influencer. Put $100,000. That's 50,000 influencers doing whatever. And it's hot.
Wow.
That's everything is agenda. Everything. So when you can do things off the merit of just being solid, standing on your morals, standing on who you are, that's why I take pride in saying, yo, we still got a 30-city tour. We still got a UK tour, Europe tour after this. So like all of these things, because we're doing it the right way without sacrificing anything, and we're not competing with the dollars that they have to basically do this agenda. Like everything now is clout over quality. You get what I'm saying? And so I rather side with the quality side, because clout is for 2 seconds. What happens when they stop spending money on you? What happens when they say, you know what? Yeah, 3 weeks is here. You know what? I like that she said this about men. Let's put money around her. This is all they do, bro. Right. This is all they do, bro. So like you got to fight through that. But I always say we got Holy Spirit PR over here. You know we got Holy Spirit management. We got Holy Spirit PR. Things just start formulating in a way that I cannot explain it. And I'll choose this. Like for me, one of my songs, Bestie, has 10 million views. You know what I mean? 10 million. Wow. And that's all organic. I'd rather have it where people chose it than, again, to say that and be like, oh, this person got 250 million. I know that it was programmed for y'all to like this. You chose to listen to the album and say, bro, I can't skip it. You chose to say the same thing. Like you don't hear it everywhere. You hear it when you want to. So for me, just knowing that I have that impact, I stand by that.
I'm glad you brought some practicality to that, because typically when you hear about kind of the ritualistic, goat blood drinking type of situation, everybody has like, it's this unbelievable thing, or you just completely, conditioned to hear, you're not concerned about it. But you made it really practical. It's not always those things. It could be, hey, I know you married. Let's get you next to this woman who dressing promiscuously, and then let's benefit from the traffic draw. So it could be any of those things.
The devil is clever, bro. Yeah. The devil has studied us. You know what I mean?
Smooth.
He's smooth. He's the smoothest, bro. Right. Like he's the smoothest of them all. You know what I mean? Sadly. So he knows what you like. He knows how to play. He knows your insecurity. He knows how to make you angry and live in anger. He knows how to, the phones can listen to us now. So if you haven't talking about this, that's the first thing you're gonna see. You know, so it's all around you. You know what I mean? So,
now we talked about this for a bit before the show started, and I want you to give us some more detail on this, because it's some men out there that's hearing you, and they're a little low on confidence, but they're working to get their paper right, working to get back in shape. They're working to do all these things with the end goal to have those same experiences that Rotimi walked away from. Right. And hey, I understand what you're saying. Ro, about what I need to do, but let me just get a taste of what you had. Then I'll come around.
After I get all that sex, then I'll go to God.
Then I'll find God after that. So what would you tell that person, like in your experience, did you have to go through all of that, temptation, lust type of experience to get to where you at now?
Okay. So yes, I had to go through that. I had to go through that because it was written, right? But I had to go through that to be a voice to say, you don't need to do all of those things, yo. It doesn't lead to what you think it leads to. You wake up with different women. For me, I can only speak for myself. So if you're asking me,
right.
I'm going to tell you for me what it did to me. I would wake up with different women and I'll just be like, and I'll be lit, I'll be drunk, and I won't even remember half of what happened. Then I'm paranoid of this happened. Did this come off? What did I say? Did she take a picture when I was sleeping? All these things that I can't even enjoy this moment that just happened. Plus, you feel depleted, bro. Like every time you give yourself in that way, that's your life source. Every time you giving it away, and then you causing soul ties with all of these different people that have so many soul ties with other people. Mm-hmm. So you part of this web of just dirt. You get what I'm saying? You part of this web of like a lot of just situations that's just like you don't even know why. Then you start realizing, damn, I don't feel good. Damn, I'm depressed. Damn, I'm not happy. Damn, I'm not. You don't realize this is a spiritual tie. So for me, I had to do it. I thought I was cool. It's the lamest thing because I was doing it because of insecurity. Yep. I was doing it because I wanted to feel validated. I was doing it because I couldn't be by myself. I didn't have to always talk to somebody. I had to feel like I controlled the situation. I was doing all these things for the wrong reason. Sex was just what it was, Then I'll be drinking in the club because I wanted internally. I was like, I really didn't want to be there spiritually. I didn't really want to be there. I didn't really know that. So I'll drink to cope with it and kind of be cool with everybody. And then I realized, yo, I'm actually the vibe.
Right.
What am I doing? I'm downplaying myself. So like, you don't have to go through all of that because you're gonna end up depleted. And I'm telling you, like, I had to see it for myself. I've been with the dream girls. It's not what you think, bro. Half the time they don't know what they doing. Half the time they in their head. You get what I'm saying? I've been all through that. So like, it doesn't bring you peace at the end of the day. It actually leaves you so depleted, and you spread yourself so thin that in the feeling of it, cool. Like, yeah, but after all of that, even during, it's not worth it, bro. It's not.
You had a soul tie before?
I feel like I've had a couple soul ties, bro.
Yeah.
I had to get delivered from it, bro. You know what I mean?
You experienced deliverance?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Bro, Timmy lit.
You thought he was faking it. You've been delivered? He tried you
That's
up.
what's up.
That boy tried you up. Yeah. It's funny because I'm happy you broke it down. That was a really excellent breakdown.
Thank you, brother.
Because a lot of our men out here, we really got to redefine. And that's what I think is important for us to do. Like these brothers in the culture who have these platforms.
Yeah.
It's our job to really redefine what it looks like to be cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like really say like, I want to be like him. Because I remember I did want to be the guy who had multiple women.
Yeah.
Who could have sex at will.
Yeah.
Who just could have money and really be my goal was to be an asshole with money.
Yeah.
That was my goal.
Yeah.
Where now, as I've been really, as I experienced the hell that comes with that, because that's what you experience.
Oh, bro.
You're paranoid. You
depressed.
don't have peace.
No.
You're anxious.
Yeah.
You're depleted. Your time management's off.
Yeah. It was never enough.
All of these things.
Yeah.
And it's insatiable.
Yeah. It's never enough.
It's never fed. It's
never
an insatiable
fed. I need another
need.
one. I need another one. I need I need two today. I need this. I need that. I need it. It's validation. Yeah. So I was, when I validated myself and said, yo, you know what's actually cool? Really dying to your flesh, bro. When you know it's cool being lit to say, yeah, I know I can have you, but I'm cool. I don't need that. That's so lit. You know what?
Yep.
Everybody drinking? Nah, I'm cool. I don't want to drink. That's for you.
Yo, when I see a brother, no, that's a fact, because now in the place that I'm in, when I meet a man that has a level of discipline that I have not yet achieved,
cool.
That's the brother I aspire. I'm like, wait, you wake up at what time in the morning?
Yeah.
That's
cool.
And you go, oh, you don't skip reading this? Oh, wow. And your paper looks like this?
Yeah.
And you don't miss these? And I can't even do that. And I'm nowhere near as busy as I aspire.
Yes.
That's
cool.
Lit to me to be able to master myself, my mind, my flesh at this level that you don't even, and that's why it's why I'm struggling to say this now, because even now as an older brother, to my little bro, we talked about this a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
You know, you talking about changing the narrative for young men.
Absolutely.
I find myself still battling myself. I'm still,
of course,
needing this deliverance because even as I'm trying to train him up to be a man,
it's never gonna stop, bro. Don't get it twisted. You're always gonna want what it wants as long as you're in your flesh. Your flesh is your flesh. That's why it says flee from it. You can't.
Right.
You can't fight it. It's like bro. For example, I know me. So I'm not going to run my social media. I don't want to see it. I don't want to protect my eye gate. So I flee. I don't even put myself in situations. I flee.
Yeah.
That's what I had to do because you can't fight it, bro. It's the flesh knows it's not going with you in the next place.
Yeah.
So it's putting up a fight. It wants to bring you to where it needs to be. That's what it's doing, bro. So like but you can't do it alone. You can't, my principles. No, you got to say, God, help me, please. God, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. Please give me the strength to get through it. Please, Holy Spirit, cleanse this room. Like, give me discernment. Please fill me up with the right things to say. You cannot do it on your own, bro. Yeah. I had to realize that when I started trying to do it on my own, I would make mistakes like with drinking. Like I used to depend on drink, not to the point of an alcoholic, but I was in the club 3-4 times a week. I was hosting. Gruesome. I was around girls every day. So I'm doing my shows. It's 1,000 women screaming, saying, yo, we love you, bro. You know, so it's like all of these things. And I started realizing I depended on liquor. And morally, I stopped. Like, you know what? I'm going to stop it. And then my mans would be like, yo, just take a shot, bro. I'm like, you're right, bro. One shot is morally not bad. You know, it's moderation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I know exactly what you
know
mean.
What I'm saying? But I had to know me. Like, if I have one, I'm probably not going to stop till about 5, 6 because I want to feel that energy. So for me, it's like I had to pray and say, give me the strength to get through this. It's a partnership, bro. You can't beat flesh with flesh. My mind is my flesh. No, it's the only spirit. Only thing that can beat the devil was scripture, you know, with how Jesus handled it. It's scripture. So I had to beat the devil because it was like, and then I'd pray and then everything would just be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm good. I view it to what it is. Like, oh, it's just that. And it would just happen for me. So that's the advice I give, you know, to anybody, like, especially people listening to this. It's like, yo, you can't do it on your own. Stop trying. Flee and pray. That's the only way, because you're a man at the end of the day. You're a woman at the end of the day. You're going to want the things you want physically. But the only way you can beat the physical is the spiritual. And I had to learn that. And so you're not alone. But that's why we have that. You have that safety net. You have that, oh, shoot, let me speak in tongues real quick. Jesus, oh, you know what I mean? You have that, like, out. He's always going to give you an outlet to get out of it. You know what I mean? And that's why, the presence of God is everything, because I couldn't do it alone, bro. It's too many around me. It's too many things. It's too many vices. So I had to pray and get that mindfulness and that discernment, and say, this is not, it minimizes whatever it is I thought it was.
Man, you talking to the old me that used to be at the forefront, and the old me is still inside of me, trying to come out every now and then.
Absolutely.
And I remember this was an old Breakfast Club interview with Kevin Hart. He was on his apology tour after the cheating scandal kind of situation, and he was explaining that he's like so how what do you do to not cheat? He's like, oh, now I just stay in the house. Right. And I remember hearing that at that time, and it actually made me, it upset me. Right. I'm like, man, it's Kevin Hart. You don't earn your position. Yeah. You don't need to be hiding out in no house and not going and accepting opportunity or accepting getting up with your friends so you won't cheat, type of deal. Right. And at that time, and even sometimes it comes out of me where I understand what he's saying now.
It's wisdom.
It's wisdom. Yeah. And back then I interpreted it as cowardice. Nah. Like, what you scared of? Yeah. But I think it's a man out there who hears what you're saying and he's like, nah, if I want to have one drink, I can have one drink. Right. If I want to go out to the club, if I say I'm not going to sleep with these women that's around me, then that's what I'm not going to do. But that's just not smart.
That's not smart, because how long does that last? It goes back to morals and principles. Right. It's bigger than that. Yo, the text says flee from sin. It doesn't say encounter it and then pray. It says flee from sin because it's too strong of a thing. So when you have moments of, should I do this? No, I don't even want to be involved. I don't even. My man's throws one of the most lit pool parties. I love my guy. I'm gonna see you on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and shout out to Punch. But my man throws incredible parties that I know I don't want to be at. I don't need it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not because of whatever. It's not judgment to anything. It's just I know I gotta flee from this. You know what I mean? And it's wisdom, it's knowledge, it's understanding of the text. Because it's not, if the text said sit in it and pray among them and this, then that's what I would do. But I'm listening to what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Do you think you have to be, as a man? Yeah. Do you think you have to be completely removed from that lifestyle before you can take on, the chance of dating a woman for, long term?
I think every man needs to go through their exodus.
Okay.
Yeah. I think every man needs to do their walk of being rebuilt before you can get to the promised land. I really do. I think you need to focus on, who am I? Where do I need to be healed? What are my triggers? What do I need to really learn about myself? Like, what are my insecurities? How lit is my relationship with God truly? Do I spend enough time with God? Why do I need the woman? Is it because I really feel like she's a compliment to me, or is it because I need her? Like, I need her as a crutch, you know? So like, there's things that you gotta walk through, and then I tell my boy, like, man, bro, dog, like, I want what you want. I want what you got, bro. You got the family, you got money, you got the kids, you got a career, bro. I want that. And your wifey, like, she lit. I'm like, bro, if you had a wife, bro, would you be able to handle being with one woman? Oof. Would you? Could you? Dang, you right. Are you able to sacrifice sometimes what you want and compromise? Are you going to be able to have arguments and then pray about it and then figure it out together? Are you going to step in your own way and, when you're 3 weeks of not dealing right with each other, in those 3 weeks, are you going to be texting and handling to validate yourself with another person? Can you do all those things? He's like, damn, nah, I can't do that, bro. Then you got to go through your exodus, my dog. You know what I mean? So the thought of it is lit. The work, bro. I tell my dogs, marriage is work. Like, it's the same work as somebody who has a lit career. It's the same work, just different. I gotta make sure I gotta be on time. I gotta be held accountable. I gotta lead my family. I gotta make sure all of the things that I say I'm gonna do, I do. I stand on my word. Same way I do in my job. I gotta make sure the people that I work with are happy. Make sure they get money. They got all these things. It's a job. You can't get lazy. You know what I'm saying? There's no laziness allowed, especially with the same way with your podcast. You can't be lazy. You can't ask half questions. You got to be thorough in everything you do, right? So It's the same thing. I can't just say, man, like, I'm all right. I don't want to talk about it. That's lazy. I'm feeling this. This is what's going on. How are we going to get to this? What's the solution? How are you feeling? You got to do the work, bro. And so, like, it's not sweet. It's one of the hardest things to do, but you can't do it alone. That's why you need, again, it all ends up with God. You need somebody to pray with. You need somebody to say, this is bigger than me. This is making me feel like you're my enemy when we're supposed to be working this together. You get what I'm saying? And so I got somebody, like, again, I'm going on tour, right? So we've developed something for the last week of, like, before we go to sleep, let's just read the Bible together, So she's on her side reading, I'm on my side reading. We've been doing this for a week. And we anoint the pillows with holy oil, you know what I mean? So it's a beautiful sleep, but we're sleeping with the word of God, you know what I mean? And so that's helping me prepare for what's to come. But these are the things that it's work. Sometimes we got home late, like 2 a.m. the other day, and it's like, yo, like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this, but it's something that we said we was gonna do. You know what I mean? So yeah, just work, man.
Speaking of that work,
yeah.
were you already conditioned for monogamy before marriage?
Heck no.
Or so when you got married, that was your first time ever being monogamous?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that?
Man.
How was that on your mind, your spirit, your body? How was that period?
Man, it took a minute, bro. It took a minute to really like. I was living in a morally strong place initially. Like, I shouldn't do this. I can't do this. The principle of this, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, dang, it's gonna look crazy if I do. Like, it was all carnal reasoning, which God gave me grace to have at least something.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a start.
It's a start. But I never knew that. You know, it was like one woman, please, bro. Like, what am I doing? There's enough butterscotch for everybody. You know, there's enough butterscotch for everybody. You know what I mean? I live that way, bro. And at the time she met me, I was very tired too. Like, so everything was in her favor because I was so tired of living a certain life. I just didn't know it, right? So I was kind of just going through the motion. Now I was drinking a lot, so then I'm so like it was just blah. And but luckily, morally, a lot of the things, you know, kept me from a lot of things.
You know what I'm impressed with, man? Listening to your album, because we try to find this like, I think it's a divine balance as a creator and a responsibility of us, you know, being vessels to put our art and our gift out to the world, but still incorporating you know, God's laws, you know, his, you know, God's principles into our work.
Absolutely.
Without it losing the entertainment value, without it losing all of the things that make people love it. Right? Because I think that's the reason the culture is so cool. Because even when you hear the music is actually great. The rhythm is incredible. You want to dance. Right. So and we try to always figure it out. Like, how do we create this transformational brand that's still entertaining and fun to watch? Almost like you don't even feel like you learning and growing your relationship with God. You just kind of feel like you just kicking it, listening to a pod. But all those other things are still happening and coexisting. And when I hear your work and your art, man, More Life, that's my favorite track.
More Life, that's love.
More Life, that's my favorite track.
You done said that to the group chat there.
I said to everybody, I'm like, this the one. If y'all ain't heard it, pop this one off. This gonna set the tone. It's like how you kind of start your day. If y'all don't know, go ahead and get that right now. You need to listen to the whole track. That's my favorite. But I'm seeing you incorporate that in your art, in your work. Have you always been that way as an artist, or is that becoming more intentional now as you grow in faith?
I was never that way as an artist. I was the artist that was trying to emulate other people. I was the artist that, you know, I was doing so many things like Film and Power, but I wasn't really able to really take time to write my records. So for a while, I would just walk into the room and be like, yo, all right, what we got? And I was singing other people's words. And I was able to, thank God for the gift of voice, but I was able to convey it as if it was mine, because some of the things that they were writing, most of the things they were writing was what I was living. So it was truth to it, but it wasn't from me. You know what I mean? And so, and I was so caught up of like, yo, now we got to just show this, show that. We got to be sexy. We got to make the girls love it. And realizing you don't got to do all that, bro. If women like you, they like you. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
And they're going, the more you don't try to do it, they like you. You know what I'm saying?
Message.
Yeah. That's free game.
Right.
Real.
Free game.
Free game, bro. You don't got to do too much, man. If you lit, you lit. They're going to sense it. So I was trying to do all these things, trying to fit in and trying to just be like this and that. And one day I just said, no more, man. And this project, In My Heart, In My Veins, is the first album that I'm able to just say, okay, again, God works in mysterious ways, bro. Like during this time, there was the acting strike. It was kind of COVID-ish, but not really. And I had time to just focus on just being a musician for the first time. And so making records, I was back to, my gift is melodies. So every melody that you heard on this album came from, I want to mean it, like it came from skedaddling, you know, and then having a writing partner like Punch, we put these things together to convey everything. So it was the first time it was free, like, yo, a conversation like, bro, what do you want to talk about? What do you feel? How are you feeling right now? So it was more control on this album, and it's the freest I've been, and it's the most authentic I've been. That's why it feels like one song because everything came from me in terms of the vibe and the melody of it, and then the stories came after, so you can relate to it. So it's just, I'm in a refreshing place, you know, and I wanted to convey that that we are in a refreshing place with no gimmick or no nothing. Like, we have a song called "I Love Me Some You," you know, and it's like just super simple to the point of just saying, yeah, I love who you are as a woman. Let's uplift you as a woman. Let's make sure that you feel that you are special, you know, and going back to making heartbreak records and real R&B records, but like real big sounding pop Afrobeat records. Like, this album has all of that, you know, even my story too. So it's, so yeah, it's been a really, really beautiful journey to just do all of these things, bro.
Man, shout out to you. I'm listening to Blessed.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yeah,
it's melodic and crazy, and I'm like, is this man talking about being baptized right now?
It's spiritual.
It's spiritual.
Is it about being baptism?
Spiritual. It's anything, bro. It's just being mindful of where I am in my life. It's just, yes, holy water. Yes, it's all of that. It's metaphorically and physically, you know, the same thing, literally too. So yeah, it's all of those things. But it's whatever you say. If somebody says, I'm blessed, no stress, too blessed. Like, if you say that, whatever that means to you, you know, and that's why we made these type of records. That, you know, it's I'm making good music for people who are ready to just live in their truth, be themselves. And the R&B side, I'm pretty sure I made it to where these are all my stories. I made it to where you can relate to at least 2 or 3 of them, you know, because we've all been through these situations, right. You know, and so and then we made it to the point where if you want to stay on the Afrobeat side, you can stay on the Afrobeat side. It's 9 songs. If you want to stay on the R&B side, it's 9 songs. You know, like,
crazy.
It got you laced with
content. Never been done.
Well, never been done before. So it's never been done. So like, whatever you love Rotimi's music for, stay on that side. You say, yo, I love the Afrobeat side. My brother, that's for you. Enjoy that. You know what I mean? And so that's what we wanted, man. There's no more questions of what type of artist he is. I'm one of one, and I have to show that. And you know, and we thank God for that, bro. Truly.
Man, big shout out, man. Incredible.
Listen,
incredible.
I know we got to wrap it up, but I want to ask you this real quick. So, you know, I told you I'm dating a young lady, and you know, we talk about the future. You talk about things that you want to do, and was having a conversation about what the daily duties of a wife and a husband looks like.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know, what do you think the daily duties of a wife looks like? Assuming there's children involved. Yeah. So I'm going through the list. I'm like, okay, you know, she's going to be responsible for making sure that, you know, the household is clean. You know, she's going to be taking care of all the kids, you know, first line of defense for the kids. I'm going through all this list. And she's like, okay, all that sounds good. You know, and so she's like, what you going to do? And I was like, I'm like, well, you know, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out. You know, I'm gonna come in. You know, you gonna take care of 80 to 90%, but you know, I'm gonna come in when needed. Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, but you need to tell me what you gonna do. Yeah. And so I went to ChatGPT. And I like typed in ChatGPT, what does a good husband do with kids? Yeah. And it was and I was like a boss husband, so I put a boss husband. Yeah. So it was like, you know, determine family structure. Yes. Make decisions. Yes. You know, make sure the actions you take are aligning with the vision. Yeah. And I named those. It was like 5 things I named for her, but they were all these like higher level things. And she was like, I'm like, so this is what I'm gonna do. And she's like, no, you know, that's what women complain about. You know, you got to do more than that. And I'm trying to explain. I'm like, well, as I'm looking at these things really do seem like daily duty. So as we go through the day, I'm like, hey, so every time you ask me a question, I'm gonna say, this I'm doing my job. So she asked me like 15 questions that day. So I'm like, this is a daily duty. Me just making decisions is a daily duty, but it was a big joke with us. But it's still, you know, at the end of the conversation, it was still like, well, I need to talk to some actual husbands to figure out what does it look like day to day. You know, is it just what I'm thinking with no experience? I just make decisions.
Especially the boss husbands.
The boss husbands, right. That's what I'm saying. I just make decisions and tell people what to do all day, or is it more than that? So what does the day-to-day look like as a husband?
The day-to-day changes, bro. Okay. It changes because one day my son may need more attention. I think let's do this, right? So the husband is the pulse of the house, right? So you go in and you say, what's needed? Wifey needs attention. Okay, let me handle that. Let me fix this solution. I'm going to give you attention. you know what? Or wifey needs time for herself. I now become the sole parent.
Right.
You do your thing. Boom. Baby girl is tripping. She's learning something and she wants to. I need to make sure my daughter's okay. Everything else quiets. Now, brother and sister need to learn how to. It changes every single day, but you have to be present. You have to be empathetic. You have to be willing to figure and find solutions in everything. Or the solution might be don't do anything. You know what I mean? You have to kind of be like a magician, bro. Like it's hard to explain. I'm trying to do it as best as I can, but everything needs its time. Everything, and even that considers you as well. You need to re-energize, because if you bring certain energies to the house, then everybody suffers. You get what I mean? So you have to be the pulse. What do I need? Not necessarily first, but if it gets to the point where what I can't give my best, then you kind of regress. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you walk in there like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What do I need? What do I need? It's empathy. It's always going to change. Your wife is just like, okay, look, I might need to go. I want to do this. And sometimes it's not the right decision. You got to then say this. You got to be an advisor. You got to, it's not one thing. It's 1,000 things. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean.
But you got, again, it's the work. You get me? You can't run from it. You know, right now, like I have my 2 kids. My son is a genius, you know, like genuine genius. He's 3 years old, but he's doing 3rd and 4th grade math and science right now, and reading, and so it's like a different breed of kid. So we have a higher responsibility. So now I have to teach him, schoolwork, but then also I have to teach him principles of, hey, why did daddy give you that? Because of hard work. I'm teaching him these principles today. My daughter, I have to remind this girl every day, you are beautiful, you are excellent, you are wonderful, you are chosen, you are this. I have to fill her spirit up so none of these little boys can play with her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then it's like with wifey, I come home, she needs her time. She needs her time to just be on her own, actually, because she's around and businesses and this. So it's like, yo, come here, guys. You know what I mean? So it's ever changing, but you just have to be like putty. That's the best way I can do it, bro. And
that's thorough.
You have to be putty, and you have to be very, like Bruce Lee said it, like water, bro. You gotta be
water, my friend.
You gotta be water, my friend. Like, there's no right answer. You just gotta be there and figure it out and find the solution in all of it, and that's your job.
Man, Rotimi, let me tell you, man, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation here.
We got to talk. Listen, next time he come, we got to talk about that crazy soul tie story and how he got delivered.
We got to go into. We gonna get. If y'all want to hear the soul tie story,
facts. I know it's got to be crazy.
Drop a me in the chat here.
Oh yeah.
But let me tell you, it's been an absolute blessing.
Definitely, man.
To speak with you here, my brother. This was a great
you,
conversation. If you got blessed from this, drop a blessed in the chat.
I feel like blessed is the occasion.
Blessed is the occasion.
Listen, we need that. We need that.
Well, let's do that. We got Rotimi in the building, and we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put him on a spot here today.
Now, hold on. We got to get clearance for this, though. They be trying. They might be trying to take us out.
We good.
We good.
We good. Y'all good. Y'all whitelisted.
Okay, man.
All right, family. Here we go. First ever performance on Hardly Initiated. Rotimi's playing Blessed. Let's go ahead and get to it.
Baby, yeah. No stress, too blessed, not pressed, living on the edge, so blessed, I must confess, I'm walking bold, with my heart and soul, holy water, in your pool, take me under, make me new, holy water, keep me cool, got the whole world, if I got you, no stress, too blessed, I got everything I need, no stress, too blessed, I got everything I need.
Yeah.
That's what we need. I like that. I like that.
Are you blessed? Drop a blessed in the chat if you're feeling blessed.
Hey, we got to start a blessed challenge, man. If you blessed, if you got a beautiful family, post it. If you got a good good moral, got money, got whatever you want. Post that, man. Let's start a Bless Challenge, and we'll embrace it. We'll post it up too as well, man.
And y'all already know, I want y'all to continue to help us grow and build this platform right now. We almost had 500,000 subscribers. Wow. Maybe might be here by the time you watching this, depending on when you see it. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button here today to help us continue to grow, build, and get these messages out to the world.
And don't forget, they got to run that album. They got 9 tracks at the front, 9 at the back. Whichever one you want, you need to run that. And I think good music, you can play, it's for all occasions. You can play it in the morning on a Sunday. You can play it at the barbecue. You can play it while you cleaning your spot. You can play it while you laying in the bed chilling with your lady.
Yes, sir.
So it's that kind of track, album.
Appropriate on all levels.
Yes, we speaking album of the year into existence right here.
Amen.
Man, because it's really that incredible. In fact, when's the tour so everybody can expect the tour here? Because we got international followers all over the country. When can we see that?
So you can get the pre-sale tickets now. It's available dukeconcept.com. You can go DUKE-concept.com to get your ticket. And also this tour starts April 27th to June 29th. We're doing 30 cities. So go check it out. See where you at. Get your ticket, man. It's an incredible experience. Some fans and some supporters, meet and greets. We have dinner together, pictures, everything.
Wow.
And then I'm doing a whole dance challenge for dancers all around the country who want to be a part of the show. So listen, go DukeConcept.com. You will see tour Rotimi and go get your tickets now.
We'll link that right in the description.
Yes,
yeah, so go ahead, right down in the description. We'll make sure that's right there for you. And thank you, man. Again, it was a blessing.
Thank you, brother.
To have you here. Thank you just for your contribution to the art, man, to the industry. I told you the impact Dr. Miles Monroe had on my life.
Yes, me too.
With just kind of building that kingdom mindset.
Yes, sir.
And one thing he said it's our responsibility not to just be so focused on getting to heaven, but to infiltrate every industry here on earth.
Absolutely.
And put God's principles and laws into these industries.
Absolutely.
So we shouldn't be running away from, Hollywood is evil and the devil, run from it. No, go face first into Hollywood.
Absolutely.
And put your we going into entertainment, go into music, go into finance, go into all of the industries that influence the world and change the culture.
Absolutely.
That's the responsibility to bring heaven here on earth. That's how you do it.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that's what the brother here is doing.
You,
and you in a tough industry, bro.
Oh,
that boy in a tough one.
Right. Say no to the Go Blood.
Say no to the Go Blood. Hey, so much love to everybody here watching Hardly Initiated. Y'all already know how we do it.
Yeah.
Hardly Initiated. We are out. Before you go, this is your moment. If you're watching this show, you're not here by accident. You're here because something in you is ready for more. More discipline, more healing, more accountability, more purpose. That's why we're building a Hardly Initiated community, a space for people who are serious about growth, serious about breaking down old patterns, and serious about finally becoming who God created them to be. We're talking about weekly workshops, live activations, in-person events, accountability, mentorship, real transformation. Not just conversations, y'all, community. And listen, it's coming very soon. But right now, we're keeping it intimate and exclusive. So if you want to be first in line when we open the doors, get on the wait list today. Go to the link in the description, sign up, and get ready, because this isn't just another group, it's a movement.